Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. My friend. Hold on, man. Am I live? You got your phone on you? Can you see what I'm live in your feed? I think I'm live. Wait, yes. Wait, hold on. Never mind. I'm live. Yes, my friend, my friend. Two Blunt Chuck, what up, bro? Fuck. Hold on, bro. I'm fucking up. Hold on. The fuck? Yeah, give me a second. Wait, turn this shit down. Alright. Hold on. Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, y'all getting here quick today, huh? Ain't people coming in? Was that a notification for me or not? Aha! Yes, I'm gonna put this shit right here. That shit gonna fall, but fuck it. What's up, peoples? Oh, let me get this shit right here. Yes. What's up, peoples? Today's show is brought to you by Samuel Adams Rebel IPA. Let's skip it. Alright, yeah, we good. So, trying to stay consistent, you know what I'm saying? Put out some content. I really don't like doing that shit because I don't like forcing information, but, you know, I started to try to look at it from a different perspective, and that I do got a lot of shit to say. It's just that I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just don't like talking to a fucking computer, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to say a little bit more consistent. I do got a lot of shit to say. I just don't like forcing it, and I just, you know, don't like sitting there talking to a fucking computer. But, on the other hand, I got a nigga sitting right here across from me doing some totally fucking illegal shit that we ain't gonna talk about, but Jake Ed is there. Jay, what up? Say what up, bro.
What up?
Jake Ed in the background, you know what I'm saying? That nigga is facing all types of charges right now. That nigga is facing charges, all types of fucking conspiracy, motherfucking to blow up the government, all type of shit. So he's fighting cases right now, so he's been taking a break. But make sure y'all subscribe, you know what I'm saying, JK channel, you know what I'm saying, eventually, you know what I'm saying, he gonna get back on it, but right now, he is Jay against the world right now. But it's coming, you know what I'm saying, but, also, too, you know what I'm saying, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. It's in the comments. So today I wanted to talk about, what the fuck did I want to talk about? I want to talk about fourth and fifth dimensional thinking. I think they need to start teaching this shit in school because, like, we moving into a time now where, like, it's becoming more and more apparent that, like, people who don't have good decision-making skills are being, like, you know what I'm saying, pushed further and further into the front of Facebook and YouTube, and, like, you will become a trending topic on the internet, get stuck doing some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? We live in a time now where motherfuckers getting exposed left and right. People are making their own beds and sleeping in that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, we live in a time now you have to definitely start to come to terms with your decision-making process. And your decision-making process is going to require you to go into certain things that you may not necessarily be comfortable with, and it's going to have to force you to come out of your comfort zone. And one of the first things I heard about as I started to grow spiritually was a concept was called the third eye. And I was like, what the fuck, a third eye? I was like, who the fuck would want three eyes? You know what I'm saying? But then when I started to get a better understanding of what it was, it's not a nigga with three eyes, but it's actually the third eye is actually an unseen eye. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you follow this page, obviously me sitting there talking about the third eye, it's probably a very basic concept because it was probably one of the first concepts you heard that started to, you know, get you to see that there was something bigger happening on the surface in this three-dimensional world, and that there's some type of synchronicity, there's some type of unseen, some type of energy thing that it's like, man, hold on, something's going on here. There's a pattern going on here. I don't know exactly what I'm seeing here, but I'm seeing something that is not in front of me per se. I'm seeing images inside my mind of these things that are telling me there's patterns, and it's something I'm supposed to be picking up on. I just don't know exactly what it was. Well, I mean, what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I started to, you know what I'm saying, see things. I noticed how I see things differently from the people around me. And, you know what I'm saying, so I started to research and Google more. I started to find out this thing called a third eye. And basically what this means is that, like, this is the underlying meaning, the moral of the things that you're looking at, you sort of say, on a three-dimensional level. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. Okay. So basically, something I already kind of knew. And then, like, I'm looking at things, there's a moral to the story, there's a point to this, there's a purpose to this, but it's not necessarily verbalized on a you know what I'm saying, on a practical day-to-day basis unless you say had the ability to see this. Most people I hang around did not have the ability to see this. You know what I'm saying? Most people follow this page for that reason, because they're surrounded by people who don't have no fucking third eye. They don't have the ability to see an underlying meaning behind what they two eyes is looking at. So you got two eyes, but then your third eye picks up on the underlying meaning behind what your two eyes can see. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. So that, you know what I'm saying, drove me more and more to start it, you know what I'm saying, to start to recognize that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people don't have this. So I used to spend a lot of time trying to explain to people, a lot of frustrating time trying to explain to people why they need to understand the third eye and what the third eye is, trying to activate, turn on the third eye in other people. You start to realize that, like, damn, hold on, can be a giant waste of time, because you start to realize that some people are not nurtured to have a third eye. And they're like, everybody don't have a third eye. And you walk around thinking like, damn, everybody has a third eye. Everybody can be awakened. You start to realize over time, the more and more you do that, you realize it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. And then you still got a lot of people out there who believe and say, hey, that's not necessarily true. Anybody can be woke. Anybody can be waking up. You just teach them the right words, the right concepts, the right symbols, and, you know what I'm saying, and boom, they'll wake up. And you realize that is not necessarily the case. And that is the topic of this video, is because we're moving furthermore into a time where it's going to be required for you to have a third eye and to be able to see the underlying meaning behind the choices and the decisions that you make. A lot of people have bad decision making process, and they don't know this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they're not learning from their mistakes. People will continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, and you'll be sitting there looking like, man, hold on, didn't you just do this shit like a week ago? And then you'll be like, man, didn't you do this shit like a month ago? Didn't you do this shit like 2 months ago? Didn't you do this shit 3 months ago? And you see the pattern, and then it's like, they're literally not seeing this pattern. And these people continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And we're living in a world now where, like, you know, if you think rational, you know what I'm saying, and then you keep seeing people make the same mistakes over and over again, it's not going to make you become less rational. Like, shit like that only makes you become more rational. You know what I'm saying? And the more you become more and more rational, you start to focus, the more you develop your third eye, you start to see things that you physically cannot see, like time, emotions, feelings, the concept of love. You cannot see love. You know what I'm saying? You just see it demonstrated. You see it demonstrated. You see it, the magnetism and the chemistry between the man and the woman, the unseen scene. It's like, you don't see love. You don't see a man, you know what I'm saying, look at a woman and a heart pop out, like how you watching a video, you see a heart pop out and says love. Like, you don't actually see this in the real world. You have to have the ability and the trained eye to pick up on these things. You see what I'm saying? So as you grow older and you are nurtured, and what you start to grow older, and you start to think, okay, these things are important to me. These things are less important to me. These things I've been exposed to. These are the things I've not been exposed to. You see what I'm saying? And you start to realize that, okay, if you have been fourth dimensionally trained, you start to realize that, okay, there's something bigger than the fourth dimension. There's a fifth dimension here. And you're like, okay, whoa, what does that mean? You see what I'm saying? Now, most people don't even get to the fourth dimension, so you're talking about fifth dimension. You fucking lose people. Motherfuckers fall asleep. You see what I'm saying? But, like, if you are trained in your third eye, you start to realize that there's a pattern within those patterns. You see what I'm saying? Which becomes like a fifth dimension. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, okay, well, what the fuck is the fifth dimension? And this is like the choices that people make, and the things that influence the choices that people make, like the paradigm, the way that they were nurtured, the languages, like the language, the movies that you watch growing up, the music that you listen to, like your belief system, literally your belief systems, why you believe the world the way it is. You know what I'm saying? this also ties into like we start talking about astrology and zodiac and like literally why you are the way that you are. You see what I'm saying? So you have like certain things that are choice, and then you have certain things that's not even a choice. Like you see what I'm saying? Like certain people who haven't broken through those areas of their paradigm or those faculties in their mind, they haven't broken through those yet, then like you can literally be stuck there and like you just do not have a choice. So when you come on my page and you hear me say, oh, Pisces is fucking fairy tale chasing motherfuckers, and you hear me say Virgo's a bunch of motherfucking stuck in the mud ass motherfuckers. You hear me talking about, all these different signs and why they are the way they are. You see what I'm saying? You start to realize that some of these people don't have a choice in the way that they are. They haven't even crossed over into the fourth dimension yet. So how the fuck is you going to even talk about some fifth dimensional shit and them making a choice in these decision-making processes when their decision-making process literally shuts down in the third dimension? So when they land on my page, it's like, oh my God, how the fuck does he know that I'm this way? How it's like, no, it's not even you. It's literally what they call the faculties in your mind that force you to be the way that you are. You know what I'm saying? And as we continue moving closer to 2020 and time keeps speeding up, different fantasies, we're moving closer toward Neptune. Fantasies are coming more and more to the surface. You're starting to see people's decision-making process less and less based in a reality. Like people who haven't crossed over to fourth dimensional, who understand like love, emotions, feelings, things like this, time. The people who haven't been trained in this, you see them continuously making the wrong choice over and over again, especially when it comes to like fifth dimensional decision making, like life-changing decision making. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to certain patterns, like you got people who can't stop cheating. You got women like who super addicted to drama, shit like this. Like you know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers who can't stop lying. People who just suck at money and keep doing fraudulent shit instead of like learning how to do positive shit. Like somebody who's selling drugs and like just literally addicted to selling drugs, just can't stop selling drugs. Like you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that's tying into people like literally getting into a state of mind where they do not have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to just literally accept that like this is their shadow self and like this is just, you know what I'm saying, something that they're gonna be carrying for the rest of their life. Some people do not have a choice. So the lower self, it's like, you understand, like, okay, the higher self requires you to go outside of your own paradigm. It requires this. It requires you to, like, if you want to be in love with somebody, you know what I'm saying? It requires you to explore the other person's reality. You cannot be in love and be in your own, like you can, like real love, you know what I'm saying? Real connection. You cannot connect and stay in your own paradigm. You know what I'm saying? They say the language of love. There's a language to love, and it requires two people to interact. You know what I'm saying? So, the problem with that is that the lower self wants to focus on its own gratification more so than even entertaining like the next person's perspective. So they don't give a fuck about your perspective. They don't even have the ability to even see your perspective a lot of times. Especially we talking about people who are in the lower fifth sphere, like the lower fifth dimensional choice. Like they can't even see that there is a universe outside their own universe. And there's an example we talk about with apes. Apes can't ask questions. Apes can speak in sign language. Apes are very intelligent. Apes can communicate a lot of different ways. They can tell you green, red. They can say are they happy, they're sad. They can tell you what happened last week. They can tell you, you know what I'm saying, where their home is. They can tell you a lot of things, just communicating through sign language, but they can never ask you a question. The reason they can never ask you a question is because they lack meta. Meta is like the ability to see a whole nother universe outside your own universe. People forget that there's people who still walk around like this. You know what I'm saying? Like when you was a child, you know what I'm saying, you literally thought that your mind was the only mind here on this planet. But like what you forget as you grow older, there's people who still walk around with the same mind frame today. So, this is why I say everybody is not, you know what I'm saying, designed to wake up. You know what I'm saying? So you still got people who walk around thinking that they got all the answers. They the only mind literally walking around. It's like the Truman Show. Like, you ever seen the Truman Show? You know what I'm saying? It's like some people literally walk around thinking that they in the Truman Show. You know what I'm saying? They're like, their whole life is this movie. You know what I'm saying? And that everybody else is just a fucking co-star, you know what I'm saying, in this movie. You know what I'm saying? There's another concept in Scientology called R6 program. You know what I'm saying? It's like you think your life is a movie and you don't have really the ability to go into other movies or like explore other people's thoughts outside of your own. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't have the ability to go in the fourth and fifth dimension, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then it also requires, you know what I'm saying, you also got to think about like the distractions that's moving around that's forcing people to stay in their own world too. Like, you know what I'm saying, like you got Facebook, you know what I'm saying, not just Facebook, but whole social media in general, YouTube, watching the wrong YouTube shit, watching Netflix, watching porn, you know what I'm saying, watching fucking addiction, anything that like you get fucking addicted to, like you said, violent movies, fucking like, you know what I'm saying, either music, you know what I'm saying, listening to the wrong music, listening to the wrong things, eating the wrong foods, all this stuff will lock you into a fucking a dimension as well, where you like just literally do not have the ability to see outside of your own perspective. Especially like if you're in pain, you're dealing with somebody who's in pain all the time, they aching all the time, they tired all the time. Like they physically cannot get past their pain. So how the fuck is they gonna consider what the hell you got going on? You know what I'm saying? So you have to consider that. And a lot of times, it's not people that's selfish. It's people being in pain. People have addiction issues. People have literally demons that have wrapped themselves around their chakras, and it's like literally stuck there. Like, so it's like tar inside the fucking lungs. They call it isfet. You know what I'm saying? In ancient Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, people don't have a choice. And they're like, there's demons literally sitting inside of them that need to be slowly worked out. You know what I'm saying? Through different forms of karma, different types of, you know what I'm saying, rituals and stuff like this that you can, you know what I'm saying, start to get that type of shit up out of you. So a lot of times it's not necessarily people don't have a choice because they don't have a choice. People don't have a choice because they have a choice. It's like people don't have a choice because they don't have a choice. I hope you heard what I said. People don't have a choice because they don't have a choice, if that makes sense. So the way you nurture thoughts and ideas is reflected in the way that you nurture love. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a rupture in one of these degrees, as far as like the way you know what I'm saying, have the ability to be receptive to the fourth and fifth dimension. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you receptive to these things? If somebody's coming around and start talking about the third eye, spirituality, religion, God, Jesus, Buddha, Moses, are you even receptive to these things? Or are you going to start falling asleep? You know what I'm saying? Or are you going to start laughing? Or you know what I'm saying, you're going to start farting, you want to go eat some food, and you're going to go play with yourself. Shit like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you even receptive to these things? So, you know what I'm saying, the way that you nurture your relationships, the way that you, not just relationships in love, but like even with your family and your friends and shit like that, the way you nurture that is going to be a direct reflection on, you know what I'm saying, the way that your heart is nurtured in the same virtues that I'm talking about. Now, if you got, like I say, disruption, that you got this type of like disruption in any one of these fields of what we're talking about, it's going to be reflected. So, mind you, we live in a time, you can watch my other video, I got it called Aquarius Hero. We live in a time now where it's kind of expected for you to be kind of crazy. It's kind of expected for you to be a little bipolar or like fucking freaky or kinky or fucking crazy or artistic or eccentric or whatever the fuck. You know, they got a million things that they call it now. So it's kind of expected for you to be kind of off your square a little bit in the gate. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of times people get lost in this shit. In that, like, you got certain people who are very, very smart, like certain rappers, certain entertainers, certain actors. They know how to play crazy. You know what I'm saying? But they're not really crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then you got, like, people who cannot separate that difference between, like, their level of craziness and, like, it's an act. You know what I'm saying? That people portray. This is why social media, this is why movies, this is why this shit, this fucking people spend hours and hours and hours online looking at shit like this, because they're trying to find, like, literally, like, the people who are literally walking on that line between reality and fantasy. And then, like, you scroll through fucking social media all day, you see shit that's staged, and then you see shit that's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But either way, you trying to find some drama. Like, you got people literally addicted to social media. Like, you got social media addiction, media addiction. People literally sit there all day and just watch media. Eventually, whether or not the shit is real or fake, it don't even matter no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? People are just literally just feeding this addiction. You know what I'm saying? So the reality between fantasy and and reality, it starts to get blurred. You know what I'm saying? So the relationships that they have with people, those lines start to get blurred as well. And that, like, there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a direct reflection in the way that people perceive reality, in the way that they deal with, you know what I'm saying, these, like I said, if there's a rupture there, you're going to see it play out in their relationships. We live in a time where, like I say, it's kind of expected. So the more you can literally withdraw from your inner demons, but still find a way to express them, this is what's so key right now. And like, a lot of times people just don't have the ability to talk about the things you hear me talk about on this channel all the time. You hear me talk about it casually as hell. We talk about fucking all type of shit on this channel. You know what I'm saying? And people just, we still live in a time where people don't understand. It's like, it's going to be required for you to speak in this manner. You see what I'm saying? The more you disconnected you are from it, the more it will play out. You got people who literally try to live this shit that I'm talking about all fucking day, and then they end up fucking trying to go viral on fucking the internet over some stupid shit. Like, you should look at Tekashi 69. It's a perfect example of this type of shit I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Or then you got type of people that the shit spills out and they get exposed. Or you look at, I mean, fucking dozens and dozens of people being exposed over the past couple of years. You know what I'm saying? The latest one right now, just to give you an example of the time we're in right now, we're talking about Cuba Gooding Jr. is going through, he's being exposed right now for talking all type of kinky shit that is, if you understand astrology, you understand he's a Capricorn, you understand that, like, this is just the degree that he's going through, because the choices that everything I'm talking about literally in this video, and then, like, he's kind of stuck in a world where he can't even help himself. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you understand Capricorns, you understand, like, the lustful nature, you understand that everything I've been talking about into this video, you look at the situation that's going on with Cuba Gooding Jr. right now, you see exactly what I'm saying. It's like, he can't even contain himself. And you see this in a lot of celebrities. You see this in a lot of online personalities. The more and more we get closer to Neptune, you're seeing this blurred reality between fantasy and reality start to play out in bad decision-making processes from people. And we live in a time now where it's going to require you to be able to instantaneously, seamlessly think fourth and fifth dimensional. You know what I'm saying? I know this person's a Capricorn. I know this person's a Virgo, so I understand exactly why this person is saying what they're saying. People who've been subscribed to this page, who understand astrology and understand spirituality, they already know this. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this so long, we don't even think about it no more. That we live in a world now where it requires you to think this way. So when you're dealing with people who don't have the ability to, like, understand these things, they don't understand astrology. They don't know how to read symbols. They don't know how to fucking interpret parables. You see what I'm saying? They don't know how to, you know what I'm saying, find the moral to a story. Like, you tell them a story, they don't know how to find the moral. They be listening to the stupid shit. You see what I'm saying? They don't even pick up on the moral. You see what I'm saying? These are the type of people who are going to be stuck. Who are already stuck. You look at them, they keep making the same choices over and over again. The same bad choices over and over again. In astrology, we look at it like, okay, like, well, this person's a Scorpio. This is the type of lower traits that a Scorpio has. This person is a fucking Taurus. These are the type of lower traits that a Taurus person has. So when you see them stuck in these decision-making processes, you as an astrologer, you understand this. You be like, okay, like, well, he's a Taurus. Of course he's going to make that bad choice. You see what I'm saying? In Christianity, they don't have astrology, obviously. So I'm saying they have a concept, what they call sheep. You see what I'm saying? They say, like, okay, they use sheep. Sheep is a comparison all the time, and people are like lost sheep without a shepherd. A lot of times Christianity say this, and that there's no sheep in the like in the 12 zodiac, the lower spheres. Most of them are animals, not all of them. I think you're saying the air signs, and I think the Virgo are the only ones that's not animals. Most of them are animals, and at the same time, it's telling you that there's a lower animal nature here. Christianity does not have these, but they use a sheep. So they tell you, okay, even though we don't use the specifics of each, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to tell you the difference between a fish and a bull and a ram and a fucking crab. Like, they're not going to sit there and break down the different animals, but they will tell you that all these motherfuckers are basically sheep. You know what I'm saying, in a nutshell. So, same principle. And that, like, there's a lower nature to people who, in the way that people act how they want, you know what I'm saying, people act this way, they have turned their heart off, they turn their mind off, the ability to see outside their own ways, and they literally thinking like a fucking animal. You know what I'm saying? This is basically, you know what I'm saying, what they tell you. Why are they this way? Because we're talking about decision making, you know what I'm saying, in the way that people interact, especially in love relationship. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to fall in love. You're trying to be in a relationship. So I'm saying you have to really look at your decision-making process. Do you even have a decision-making process? Do you even look at the way that you make decisions and able to look at, like, okay, I've made a lot of bad decisions. Are you at one with this? Do you understand that I've made a lot of bad decisions, so maybe I might want to look at the way I make my choices. Do I even have a choice-making decision process? Most people don't. So I'm saying, so just things to think about. So I'm saying, they have a concept I was studying recently. So it's called decision theory. So I'm saying, the basic decision theory, you know what I'm saying, like, they have, for one example, decision theory is called, like, classical decision theory. What the fuck is this? Basically, in a nutshell, nigga, this basically means it's like you are rational. It's like a old man, basically. He's like, I'm rational, methodical, he's following steps, like, okay, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but, you know what I'm saying, there's a sequence here that if I follow this sequence, I will arrive to the best choice to make at this time. I don't know what choice to make, but if I ask myself these certain set of questions, I've weighed these certain virtues out, I will arrive to the right decision every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? This is called classical decision theory. Now, you know what I'm saying? The problem with this is that this shit don't play out in real time, because, like, nowhere, a lot of times in real life, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In a real organizational environment, you know what I'm saying, where it's like shit is constrained based on, like, time and lack of information, you're not going to be able to sit down and make rational thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Sequential thoughts, methodical thoughts in real time, dealing with people who are constrained by lack of information, or they don't have the ability to fucking learn from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So how the fuck is you gonna sit there and make a rational choice, rational decision when you sitting there dealing with a motherfucker who is fucking dealing with shit from an emotional, fucking crazy ass standpoint? You know what I'm saying? So even though you may have classic decision making process, you have to still weigh it in the fact that you're dealing with shit in real time, and shit don't play out like that in real time. So what the fuck does this mean? That means that your decision making process in that moment is become based on behavior, not based on fucking rational. You know what I'm saying? So you can be the most rational motherfucker in the world, but when it play out in real time, you're not gonna base it on ration. You're gonna base it on fucking behavior, on the way this motherfucker's acting. And they're like, you know what I'm saying? It still has to play out in a fucking back and forth dialogue. And if the motherfucker on the opposite end of the conversation is fucking retarded, no matter how rational you are, your decision making at that particular point is still gonna be based on this motherfucker's behavior. You know what I'm saying? So you have to weigh this shit the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? In real time. And what the fuck is this person based this shit on? This motherfucker has limited information. You know what I'm saying? Limited knowledge. This motherfucker who don't have the ability to learn, a lot of times don't have the ability to even learn from the fucking mistakes. So you can kick some straight rational shit to a motherfucker who's being totally fucking irrational, and it still won't fucking hit him anyway. This is the real essence of this fucking video, or what the fuck I'm talking about. Because you got to understand, and like I said, we live in a world, the more rational you become, it's like, how do I say this? The more you, what did I just say? I just said this shit. The more you try to bound rationality, the more you try to like this is where fuck MGTOW come from. Motherfucker like pickup artists and shit like this shit. Like, the more you try to make common sense sound stupid, the more common sense the more authentic it gets, basically. The more you try to bound rationality, the more rational it becomes. Like, rationality just don't go away. And like, it's so crazy, like how like motherfuckers who operate off emotion, motherfuckers who operate off lower thinking, they just think that like the best decision is going to go away. It's like, no, motherfucker, you did not reach the best decision in this particular instance. And even though you didn't, that don't mean that the best decision is just gonna fucking go away. It's like, no, this motherfucker has the best decision. Trust and believe that shit. And that shit is not going away. The more you try to bound rationality, the more rational it becomes. Why? Because bound rationality, it can accept the fact that it doesn't have all the answers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even me, on this motherfucking channel, I don't get up here and try to act like I got all the fucking answers. This is like bound rationality. It's like me being in real time, dealing with the shit that I'm dealing with. I can only deal with the shit that I deal with in real time. That don't make me think I got all the fucking answers. You know what I'm saying? But when you're dealing with somebody who's irrational, you hear them say shit like, oh, motherfucker, you don't know everything. You hear this shit. You hear motherfuckers fight for their reservations. You hear people, like, literally fucking, like, you hear a motherfucker who's never turned their third eye on. And they're like, it's really dealing with receptivity. In Christianity, called shit receptivity. Like, how receptive is your heart to the fucking truth? Like, you know what I'm saying? Me, I have bound rationality. So, like, I can accept the fact I don't have all the answers. So, if I come across some shit that's true, and I have the understanding I don't know every fucking thing, then I can be receptive to this truth. Okay, I don't know this shit. This new shit. I'm receptive to the information. We're talking about fourth dimensional shit. Information is like some fourth dimensional shit. You know what I'm saying? The shit you get from this information, from this videos, information. Information is fourth dimension. How receptive you are to that fourth dimensional sphere is basically a direct reflection to how you deal it in your third dimensional shit. If your third dimensional shit fucked up, your house all fucked up, motherfucker got shit all in your fucking car, motherfucker can't think, you fucking shit all scattered everywhere, fucking cluttered. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you're not gonna be too receptive to fourth dimensional shit, which is like information. You see what I'm saying? So by that same token, me, a motherfucker who already kind of catered in this regard, and me, I'm already okay, I don't have all the fucking information. I can go right to Google. You see what I'm saying? So this is why we living in a time now. You tell somebody, hey man, like you be in the middle of an argument with somebody. You like, man, just Google the shit, Google it. And then like they don't even want to Google the shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's when you really be like, wait a minute. See. Wait a minute. I'm sitting there trying to put you on to some shit. Right? We disagree, right? We just go right to Google, right? Then motherfuckers still be sitting there arguing with your ass. Motherfuckers still, they don't want to hear that shit. They be like, nigga, fuck Google. Like, so then that's when you be like, whoa, that's why you need a video like this. You see what I'm saying? Because you still living in the motherfucking time, like under the back and forth act. You forget that this motherfuckers out here, that you pull out Google, motherfuckers ain't gonna even read that shit. You send it to them, they not gonna even read it. You just sitting there talking back and forth with the motherfucker with some shit all night. You send them, you like, man, look, here go the link. This is shit we talking about right here. Motherfucker don't even read that shit. You see what I'm saying? You like, why? Ain't no third eye there, nigga, to begin with. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Some motherfuckers don't have a choice. You got procedural rationality. Procedural rationality is like, okay, I don't know the answer to this shit, but in the scope of what I know, I'm going to put the information I do. I'm going to draw questions. I'm going to say, okay, well, does A lead to B? Does B lead to C? I don't know what answer I'm even trying to get up to, but just the way I arrive to this answer is key. The way I fucking make my decisions is key. You know what I'm saying? Procedural rationality. This is the shit that forces bound rationality. You know what I'm saying? Because it forces you to, like, focus on what you already know instead of, like, what you could know. So it's a lot of things, like, for example, like, it's a lot of shit I've been saying in this video. For hella, like, I've been giving fucking a lot of information in this video. You see what I'm saying? But there's still a lot of shit that I probably haven't discussed that fits into the same thread of information. You see what I'm saying? So, like, me speaking to you right now, speaking like bound rationality. It's like, okay, this is what I know. You see what I'm saying? Does this mean I know everything? No. But does this going to stop people who are out there is going to think, looking at me like, oh, this motherfucker think he know everything? No. Like, that's the reality of what the fuck you dealing with. It's like, just because I'm bound in this rationality don't mean that I know everything. And the fact that I even have to explain that, like, you got to remember, like, you dealing with people like this. So just because you know what you know, and it's like you could just be trying to arrive to a conclusion, right? You be like, okay, such is fucked up. We got to fix this. Okay, I'm going to fix it. Okay, what information do we got? We ain't got no information. Okay, well, what happened have you ever seen a scenario like this before? No, I've never seen a scenario like this before. Okay, fuck, so we got to fix something. We don't know what the fuck the problem is, and we've never seen nothing like this before. Okay, what do we do? Now, back in the day, they didn't have Google. Nowadays, we got Google. But you still got people who not going to come to the conclusion just to go to Google and look this shit up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You still got people who going to try to fix this shit on their own terms without looking up no information or nothing. They just going to fucking just do it. They not going to naturally come to the conclusion and go Google this shit. You know what I'm saying? Google is like fucking third eye shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of motherfuckers who've been on, that's how you probably found my page, fucking sitting around Googling shit, fucking with your third eye all night. You know what I'm saying? Like, Google especially on some late night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning shit, Google, it's like some third, you be sitting there flickering your third eye all night. Click, 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 click. You see what I'm saying? So, if people are not trained in it, you see it play out in that, like, you be sitting there talking to motherfuckers, like, they come at you, like, man, this shit fucked up, we need to fix it. Okay, I'm gonna fix it. What's wrong? Well, this is fucking wrong, this is wrong. Okay, do you know how to fix it? No, I don't know how to fix it. That's why I came at you. Okay, have you ever seen anything like this before? No, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Okay, do you know anybody who ever experienced anything like, no, I don't know none of this shit before. Okay, let me Google it. And you Google it, you be like, okay, you Google it, you might go through 10 threads. You be like, okay, this is the problem. This is how this person solved it. 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 You be like, you reading it, you like, okay, I can see that. So, mind you, side note, the way you Google shit is key too. Like, you can't just Google shit no more. Like, you got to Google shit a certain way to draw out the right information. You see what I'm saying? So you Google all this information, you draw out all the right information. You see what I'm saying? So then you come back to the person you're talking to, And they be like, okay, what the fuck you gonna do? You gonna fix this? You be like, yeah, well, the best solution for us to do is such and such, 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 because I Googled it, and based on the fucking 10 facts that I found, this is the way that they handle the situation. And then these motherfuckers look at you like, motherfucker, that ain't gonna fix shit. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about, because you got such, such, such going on, and you ain't consider the facts, such, such, and you be like, man, like, like, the receptivity, you see what I'm saying, is the key of what I'm talking about. And then, like, the way how it don't matter what you talking about. You see what I'm saying? It's like, how receptive is this motherfucker to the truth as a whole? You see what I'm saying? That's why you need a video like this to sit down and break down. It's like situations like this play out all the time. And a lot of times people lack the keywords and understand, like, man, why does this shit keep fucking happening? Oh, shit, there go my phone. You see what I'm saying? So, why do people sit and say this after you come at them with, you see what I'm saying, you did all this information, you come back, you give it to them, they be like, man, you don't have all the answers, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why are people like this? Receptivity. Well, what blocks the receptivity? For one, overconfidence. A lot of times people be overconfident in their ignorance. And you know what I'm saying? Overconfident in, you know what I'm saying, in their ways. And they like, their success has gotten them this far. I'm still alive. I still got some money in my pocket. I still got a roof over my fucking head. You know what I'm saying? So their confidence in that causes overconfidence in future decision making. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself, okay, are you trying to move past your limitations, or are you trying to fight to stay within your reservations? You know what I'm saying? And that a lot of times you got to look at people's goals and see why they're making the decisions that they make. Second, entitlement. A lot of times, and especially in love situations, people are entitled. Especially, you know what I'm saying, if they just came out of a relationship, they just got to break up. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with pain. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people come out super entitled. You know what I'm saying? Also, if they haven't been trained in love matters, they don't know how to heal. They don't know how to forgive. They don't know how to explore the other person's world before looking at their own world. You know what I'm saying? Being more selfless than selfish. You know what I'm saying? Then yeah, you're going to get all types of entitlement issues. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Why they can't do this for you, why they can't do that for you, and why they're not willing to sacrifice, why they're not willing to go the extra mile for you. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, an entitlement a lot of times will stem from you know what I'm saying, all type of just not being trained in self-sacrifice, really the key word is chesed. You know what I'm saying? If you look that up in just Kabbalah word, chesed, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times people lack the virtue of chesed, you know what I'm saying? So they have entitlement issues, you know what I'm saying? They don't go, like, a lot of ways you practice chesed is like doing shit that ain't gonna get you no immediate return. Like, you go visit somebody in the hospital, or you go, like, visit somebody in the grave, you know what I'm saying? Or you donate money to church, I mean, and nobody even know this shit type shit, you know what I'm saying? Or like shit like that, that's chesed, you know what I'm saying? Like doing good shit when don't nobody even know you doing it type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't doing shit like that, then yeah, you gonna run into like entitlement issues. So I'm saying another thing, you know what I'm saying, why people think why they're not receptive to the truth, you know what I'm saying, you talk about commitment escalation. You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes people use their commitment as an excuse to cover up their accountability. You know what I'm saying? So like they'll tell you that, oh well, because I'm committed, or you know, so I'm down for you, you know what I'm saying? They use that as an excuse to cover up the fucking mistakes or the bullshit that they own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll try to bring up old shit that they did for you in the past to try to cover up some shit that's really impertinent right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's called, like, you know what I'm saying, it's called commitment escalation. And mind you, commitment escalation, the reason they put the word escalation between commitment escalation is because all that does is escalate the issue. It's called commitment escalation. You have to really listen to their line of reasoning. You can, man, this is fucked up. Why the fuck did you do that? Didn't you say you weren't going to do it? Yeah, but what about that time I did this for you? And like, all it does is continue to escalate their commitment in the way that they're not focusing on none of what the fuck you're saying. Like, you can literally explain exactly why the fuck you pissed off. And a motherfucker will say, well, fuck, I'm down for you, though. Motherfucker, I'm the only one that's down for you. You know what I'm saying? They're not even hearing what the fuck you're saying. All they're thinking is that they're this is called commitment escalation. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times, codependency, like, you know, people got codependency issues and shit like this. They have huge, you know what I'm saying, commitment escalation issues. And they're like, you know what I'm saying, the whole fucking dialogue, the whole conversation, the whole relationship based on codependency just be based on, you know what I'm saying, like, who was down for who first. Like, especially like somebody go to jail, you know what I'm saying, you got somebody coming to visit them all. This is a perfect example. Like, somebody come to visit you in jail all the time, you get out of jail. And when you get out of jail, they be on straight bullshit and like everything. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, and then, you know what I'm saying, they use the fact that they was down for you while you was in jail as an excuse to cover up their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because they was down for you while you was in jail. And they keep escalating. You know what I'm saying? It's called commitment escalation. So you got this type of shit going on. So motherfuckers still ain't listening to you. They think, they be telling you, man, you don't know everything. You don't know what the fuck going on. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's another reason. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is risk aversion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, risk aversion and power. You know what I'm saying? These go hand in hand. Risk aversion and power. Sometimes people don't want to commit. People don't want to sacrifice. People don't want to show real, genuine love because they feel there's a risk involved. You see what I'm saying? And that, but a lot of times people who scared to take risks and shit like that be totally non-receptive. You see what I'm saying? And they're like, if you kind of scared to take a risk in love, not necessarily in love because that's really bad, but like even in information. You see what I'm saying? Somebody might come at you with some fourth dimensional shit, fourth and fifth dimensional shit. I might come at you, I'll be like, oh well, you're a Virgo, so this is why you acting the way you acting. Or you're a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Do you know any information about this? Do you know any information about that? And I try to show you that shit, and you just totally close off to the shit. You don't have no imagination. You don't have no third eye. You see what I'm saying? Why not? What the fuck are you really avoiding? You see what I'm saying? A lot of times people listen to risk aversion. Risk aversion from what? Power. You see what I'm saying? Power is confidence. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times if you come in people with information that can throw their confidence off and make them second guess everything that they whole paradigm, you see what I'm saying? Some people see that as weakness. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be confident. Everybody wants to be confident in their decision making. You see what I'm saying? But confident and power go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm talking about risk aversion and power. They go hand in hand. A lot of times people will look at your information, or people will look at your love, or people will look at your fourth dimensional self as a threat. You see what I'm saying? To what the fuck they got going on. You see what I'm saying? Even if it's just on a subconscious level. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that they may just be thinking like they might second guess everything that they're doing. That's a threat to their confidence level. You see what I'm saying? Now, you don't want to fuck with people's confidence, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be with somebody that's weak. You know what I'm saying? Unless you are one of the people we talking about, you know what I'm saying, in this type of video. You get women and men, you know what I'm saying? But I see this a lot more in women, obviously, than men. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times women will get with somebody who's a man who's weak, already kind of broken. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, they can kind of control him and manipulate him a lot more easier. You know what I'm saying? Without him even knowing. You know what I'm saying? Because this nigga's broken. He don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? So they'll sit there and play with that shit all fucking day. You know what I'm saying? So you got these type of people out here who do that, and you know what I'm saying, the guy starts to wake up, the guy starts working out, he starts, you know what I'm saying, learning things, starts listening to things totally outside. He's saying his own fucking paradigm. He's like, you watch that movie, what's that movie? American Beauty, I think it was called, with fucking Kevin Spacey. You know what I'm saying? That's a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? And like all the information, everything he was going through was like risk aversion to her, for risk aversion and power. And then like her confidence, she wasn't able to look at herself as powerful, you know what I'm saying, because he, you know what I'm saying, started to get herself, like he started to get an identity of self, you know what I'm saying? So that was a threat to her confidence level, you know what I'm saying? And the way she responded, you know what I'm saying, you kind of see it was like self-destructive, you know what I'm saying? And you get this a lot with people today, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, people will continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, even though the shit is right there in front of them, because they're trying to avoid risk. What is this really called? There's a word in Greek. It's called hubris. 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 Hubris is the best description you get. A word called hubris is a good example of that. That's why I say I have to be able to break down parables, break down stories, because I cannot literally show you hubris. I can just describe it, and hopefully your mind will, you know what I'm saying, understand what it is. But hubris is basically the theme of what we've been talking about a lot of time through this whole video. And then, like, when you look at Pharaoh in the Bible, Pharaoh was described as having hubris. And they're like, well, okay, I can't see that. Give me an example. Well, if you got Moses comes to you like, man, let my people go. You're like, nah. Pharaoh like, nah. So saying, he's like, man, come on, Joe, let them go. I'm trying to tell you, God gonna got something for you, don't let them go. He's like, nah. He's like, all right. You know, you go away. A whole bunch of bugs come floating through the whole city. And then he's like, man, what the fuck, all these bugs? Man, shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Shit ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They breaking out all type of raid. You know what I'm saying? Spraying, you know what I'm saying? Bug traps. All type of shit. Fly swatters everywhere. Fly swatters prices going up that week. You know what I'm saying? Still ain't getting no progress. Moses come through like, man, I told you, Joe. Man, let the people go. He's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Nah, because nope. You know what I'm saying? This is hubris. And they're like, Joe, did you see all these bugs? What you think will happen next week? You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? They call this a heart and heart. You know what I'm saying? Christianity. But like in the Greek interpretation, it's called hubris. And they're like, this is a guy who's not learning from his mistakes. So I'm saying this guy will continuously make the same mistakes. You know what I'm saying? To save you the whole story. Then if you go follow the story, you already know. They're like, Moses came back multiple times to Pharaoh and was like, man, Pharaoh, let my people go, man. I don't want to do this. God got something for you. You know what I'm saying? And Pharaoh just totally would not learn this lesson that God was doing all of these things, even though all these things were staring at him right in the face. You see what I'm saying? You got these type of people who walk around with this type of hubris. So you probably see these type of people every day. You show them these videos, you're talking about astrology, you try to put them on the information, you show them this, and you look at all the negative things that's happening in their life. Their fucking life is falling apart. Fucking motherfuckers dying. Motherfucking car break down. Motherfucker get fired. You see all this shit all the time. Fucking house get lost. And you be like, damn, nigga, like, don't you see all this shit fucking happening to you? You know what I'm saying? Don't you think you might want to like start increasing your fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional awareness of things? Don't you want to start opening up your third eye? Don't you want to start opening up your Bible maybe a little bit? Then start studying some fucking, you know what I'm saying, some things that's going to start to expose you to better decision making? Nope. Motherfuckers continually make the same mistakes over and over again. And you see this in Pharaoh. And you're trying to ask yourself, well, what the fuck was it that made Pharaoh finally let the people go? Well, he had to lose his son. You see what I'm saying? Mind you, he lost hell of shit. They sent frogs. They sent the tearing the river, the blood, motherfuckers dead in the river, motherfuckers, all the vegetation. They died. Like, this shit was fucked all the way up. You see what I'm saying? Before he finally was like, you know what? I let them go. You know what I'm saying? His son had to fucking die. And a lot of times, this is what you get when you're dealing with people in real time. Somebody gotta fucking die. As fucked up as it is, somebody gotta fucking die before people hear what the fuck you saying. This is literally in using in comedics. This is law number one in comedics. Like, somebody gotta die. Somebody's like physically or non-physically, which is like spiritually or mentally. Like, it's like a death. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody gotta die spiritually or even physically. Hopefully it's spiritually, so you ain't gotta die physically. You can learn these lessons in this life, so you don't have to come back and learn them all over again and play this whole fucking game over again. You know what I'm saying? So, but you start to see, like, somebody got to die. You know what I'm saying? And it, before their third eye is open, and they start to develop, like, core principles, core ethics, core humility. You know what I'm saying? You can't fake this shit. You cannot fake authenticity. I say this shit all the time. Like, you got to go through real shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, if your pride and your ego is still there, like, a lot of times this is where, like, Leos come in. I think Jay Can told me this shit. He's like, man, a lot of times Leos gotta, they hold pride, they hold ego gotta be all the way, like, fucked up before they come at you and admit that the shit was fucked up. Virgos is kind of like this too. Like, a lot of times you gotta watch motherfuckers' ego deteriorate. You gotta watch them go through what Pharaoh went through. There's a reason, like, they put Pharaoh in there, and they're like, you got people like this. You got people who do not learn from their fucking mistakes. So no matter how many times you try to tell them, they do not have a third eye. They do not have the ability to see the fourth dimension. They do not have the ability to see the fifth dimension. I hope you're getting what the fuck I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? I hope y'all are getting this shit. You see what I'm saying? Because, like, this is very key shit. We live in this world. And then, like, you have to understand, we moving closer to Neptune. So, like, people's fantasies is playing out faster and faster. So, like, you're getting all these fucking blurred-ass, wild-ass fantasies based in semi-reality getting thrown at you all fucking day. And people are suggesting to you that you should partake in these untrained, places where foundation ain't laid solid, you know what I'm saying, basically playgrounds inside these motherfuckers' minds. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit plays out inside the mind. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people want you to partake inside their mind and partake inside these fucking dark, demented places that you go in thinking it's one thing, and on the way out you find out it's something totally fucking different, and you like, and then you get lost in this shit, and then you think this is your real fucking life, and then it starts to really affect your real decision-making process. This is why you got guys addicted to porn. You got fucking women who fucking super fucking emotional and can't fucking separate reality from fucking fiction on both ends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got guys who talk to women like total shit. You got women who fucking are totally oblivious to fucking the whole man's fucking reality as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And you got these motherfuckers claiming that they in a fucking relationship. You see what I'm saying? And you like, what world do y'all think that this shit is gonna fucking cohabitate? You know what I'm saying? Because Neptune, the fantasy is just pushing, it's pushing on people's brains every day. When the sun starts to set, people start getting this fucking, you know what I'm saying, this restless energy to start doing a bunch of nothing, thinking that they doing something, doing a bunch of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not balanced in these forces, and they don't understand how these forces come in, and it's just so easily just to, like the wind blow, just push a motherfucker right over to the left, and they just in a whole nother fucking parallel universe, and people just operate off instinct. When you look at a motherfucker right in the face and just tell them, all you gotta do is Google that shit, nigga, it's right there, motherfucker. It's 100 people that have tried the same stupid shit you want. All you gotta do is Google it, it's right there, and people will still fucking ignore the same shit. You see what I'm saying? This is hubris. You know what I'm saying? One of the best examples of hubris, you know what I'm saying, if you study the Bible, you know what I'm saying, there's a guy in there, his name was, you know what I'm saying, Saul. He changed his name to Paul. You know what I'm saying? Saul was one of the most grimiest motherfucker. He ended up becoming, he wrote damn near half the New Testament. You know what I'm saying? He was the most grimiest motherfucker in the whole fucking, all the, mama, not grimy, like, next to Judas. This nigga was like the worst. You know what I'm saying? They like, they used to kill Christians. Like, this nigga used to be the nigga that show up at your crib and find out, like, man, you a Christian, and snatch. He was like the fucking police, nigga. He used to come to your crib, snatch you out your crib, and come persecute your motherfucking ass and have your ass killed just for studying Christianity. You see what I'm saying? This is Saul. This nigga was the dumbest nigga, Joe. This is the dumbest nigga of all of these niggas. He was the most dumbest nigga in there. Like, this nigga was like, he was like an Aquarius that don't know he an Aquarius type shit. Like, this nigga was stupid as fuck. Like, you see what I'm saying? So, whole time, mind you, just to give you a side note, just an example of how ruthless this nigga was. This nigga would snatch women and kids. Like you could be a woman in the bed with your kids with a fucking cross around your neck. That nigga was coming for your head. Nigga, you be a woman, pregnant. Zero fucks given. Like, this nigga was all the way Aquarius with, like, zero fucks given. You know what I'm saying? One day, this nigga was on his horse and tripped and fell with some stupid shit and landed on his fucking neck. Fucked his whole back up, and nigga went blind for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? And couldn't see shit. And then next thing you know, like, you imagine being blind. Nigga, imagine you think you motherfucking, goddamn it, Macho Man Randy Savage mixed with Hulk Hogan, nigga, and you riding around on a horse, and one day on some Christopher Reeves shit, nigga, you literally think you Christopher Reeves, and you come flying off a motherfucking horse and land on your motherfucking neck. And you blind. Out of there, nigga, smack out, fucked up, all the way blind, can't see shit. Blind as hell. You the most ruthless nigga. Nigga, you Darth Vader out here, and you blind as hell, nigga, now you fucked up. Now you crawling around on the motherfucking floor asking God help. And the only thing you see is Jesus, nigga. Jesus came to this nigga and was like, yeah, nigga, I got your ass now, nigga. Now you can see who the fuck the real truth is. Now that you fucking blind, now you can see the hubris. Now you can see how fucked up your stupid ass is. This is what the fuck I need you to do. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? In turn, when, you know what I'm saying, when he went blind, he saw the light, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? That's the first Saul. Like, Saul had to go blind in order to see the light. You know what I'm saying? And just a lot of the people out here literally like that. Like, they gotta go blind. They gotta go all the way to fuck blind. Nigga, they gotta fall off a fucking horse, land on their fucking neck. They son gotta get killed like fucking Pharaoh. Like, some stupid, somebody gotta fucking die, nigga, before they hear what the fuck you saying. Just know that. It's just, it's fucked up, but it's what it is. I hope you getting this shit, nigga. It take a while, but it hit. This motherfucking Sam Adams, this motherfucking weed, and this motherfucking lit. Eventually, it's gonna hit your motherfucking subconscious. You're not gonna shake this shit off, nigga. And then, like, you surrounded by motherfuckers who make hubris decisions all the fucking time. It's like they not learning from their fucking. Just look at the motherfucking answers up. Is this motherfucker learning from their mistakes? No. Stop wasting your fucking time. All right, I told you. Look, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I have some good news. You know what I'm saying? Coming on this page. You know what I'm saying? And if you know what I'm saying, follow my page. You know what I'm saying? Get a lot of information. It's good. You know what I'm saying? But there's a real good piece of information. You know what I'm saying? If you go look it up, it's in the Bible. Believe it or not, it's in Matthew 13:11. You know what I'm saying? I hope you look it up. So I ain't gonna tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you do look it up, you know what I'm saying, you will learn that, you know what I'm saying, the things I'm sharing with you is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people got hubris. Some people do not learn from their mistakes. But then there's certain people who do. And the more that you research on Matthew 13:11, you know what I'm saying, you will find the moral of this whole video. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that you know what I'm saying, do your research, do your homework, and catch the bigger message, you know what I'm saying, that you're not going to find in none of the dialogue here. But if you do that research, you will definitely find it. All right? We the fuck out of here, because I got to smoke this fucking blunt. And I got some other shit I got to do that I can't tell y'all nothing about. So I'm going to end this shit right here. Make sure you subscribe, all that shit. You already know. You